Welcome back, everyone. I trust that you all really enjoyed that powerful voice by Mr. Nika Andrews. That was a beautiful message and one that we really need. Yes, another round of applause for her, please. Excellent performance. I would also like to remind you all of our sponsors today: National Flour Mills, AP Scott, Bryden PI, Blue Waters, as well as ZAD and Eastman. Our panel this evening is on women in business and women in fashion. And don't they look beautiful? Yes, cheer them on, most definitely. We have with us Miss Yolandra John Edwards, who is, as we know, a beauty queen and also a flight attendant. We have Miss Michelle Mohammed John, mature model, very experienced, as well as Miss Crystal Horn, who is also a beauty queen, and yes, and restaurateur, restaurant owner. Can we give them another round of applause, please? So I will start with Mrs. Mohammed John. There are some things happening on this panel, and I'm here for it. You are mature in the fashion industry, meaning that you have a wealth of experience. What is an advice that you would give to young women who want to get into the industry, seeing that you've had this experience in it? What would you give someone that is up and coming?
Honestly, I will say, go to school and study first.
Right.
Make sure you have that in the hat. Then you pursue your modeling career. You may not be advanced quickly in Trinidad, but it would pave a way for you internationally. So just keep at it, keep positive, stay focused, and enjoy the experience.
Excellent. And for a young person or any woman who struggles with her confidence, what advice would you have for them?
Stay focused. Self-worth. Yes. Always remember your self-worth. Whether you are now starting this journey or you are starting over this journey, you stay focused, enjoy it. I love that word, focus. Enjoy you. Enjoy, be positive. Don't be hard on yourself. Say you are beautiful. Every thing that you pass through, whether it's something hurtful, whether it's something joyful, that beauty is you. There's only one of you that was made in this image. You are beautiful. You stay confident and love yourself. Most important.
I'm the type of person I would want to dig deeper and be like, so how do you love yourself? But tell us one way that you express love to yourself.
Well, some people will say spa day.
Right.
Loving yourself is understanding who you, me, who I am, my experiences. I must learn from my experiences. Yes. You love yourself to say, I am made special. This is me. Yes. Some might say that, but this is me. I was made in this image. I love myself. I love sharing sharing whatever you have. That is self-love. You share. You don't keep it for yourself. Right? So, loving me, yes, and we will include the spa days.
Definitely.
But free your mind. Yes. Do not hold grudges that ages you. Yes. You say, yeah, let's hug, let us forget that, let us move on.
I once heard a saying that says, holding grudges, it's like holding lava in your hand, waiting for the opportunity to throw it at someone else.
Exactly. Yeah. So, loving yourself is not a sin.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of deep things that you've said there.
Yeah,
and thank you very much for sharing that. And I love how you had highlighted reflecting on your situation, yes, what you have gone through in life, because it teaches us, when we do that, it teaches us something about ourselves that we might learn. I didn't realize I was so quick-tempered. Yes. I didn't realize that this is a touchy topic for me. Yes. So it's about that self-awareness as well. Yes.
And I may say, I did not know I had that forgiving heart,
Right.
It's a deep soul searching to love yourself too,
Thank you very much for sharing that, Michelle. Yolandra, the beauty queen. Now, when we think about beauty, a lot of time we think about external beauty, your hair, how you groom yourself, how you treat yourself in that way. How would you define beauty and beyond the physical?
First of all, I believe that beauty is what people see on the outside. That is not truly the beauty. For me, beauty lives in a person who exists in a world where there's kindness, there's resilience, there's your inner strength, there is a purpose. True beauty as well, it's an energy. When you walk into a room, you light up the entire room and everyone is staring at you. And it's not just the physical appearance, but it's beyond that appearance. Because at the end of the day, the outside appearance does nothing much for you really. It's what's inside. So whatever is inside, it comes out naturally. And that is what shines, and it creates an impact, not only on yourself, but to other people that surrounds you.
So then how do you make yourself beautiful?
Similar, just to touch on what Mrs. Mohammed John said, be you. It's all about your authenticity. It's all about, trying to change that entire trajectory of your lifestyle, moving, exercising, working out. Spa day is a must. Just taking that time to find who you are as an individual, learning and growing. It's about self-discovery, and I think that is what loving and true beauty really is about.
Thank you very much. I love that we have a theme, that's self-discovery. And I think when you were stating some of the characteristics, a word that came to mind was grace. Because sometimes things happen and we have to give ourselves grace. I've been in situations where I have to remind myself, okay, give yourself grace.
That is true. And handling grace under pressure is hard. It's not easy at all, but at the end of the day, you still have to show that strength. Again, it's all about the inner strength. So you have to show that, show the people, show yourself as well that, listen, hey, I can do it and I want to do it. And this is who I am as an individual.
Excellent points. Can we give them a round of applause for these nuggets that we're getting here tonight? And of course, the beautiful Miss Crystal Horn. And just to remind persons, we're also discussing business. What inspired you to become a chef and to start your business? And before you answer, this is self-discovery as well, I'd like to think, knowing what you're passionate about and going for it.
So, I'm not going to talk, but I like it.
So I'm not a good spokesperson, but I have to give you all my experience for you all to understand me. Right? So I didn't start off with it as a passion. It started off as a going out there into the world. Right? So it was like a quick fix and a hustle because I went to school and I got my subjects, my O-levels, and instead of furthering my subjects, I wanted to help my mom and myself because I came from having nothing and making myself into something. So I started off my first job, as you were saying, was in a hawk and spit bar. Yes. I finished school and quick fix. Who knows, everybody knows Mr. Keith Herbert. That was my first boss. So he knew me since I was small. He knew me since I was small, and he was like, Chris, I'll open a little bar if you're interested in coming to work. Well, I was like, yes, I took the opportunity. And I went off to work in the rum shop, where I developed the passion of meeting people, greeting with people, and I ended up getting pregnant with my better half. So I got pregnant and I stayed home, but I was always this outgoing person. Even when I was going to school, every pan knock I was in it. Miss Andrews, whoever knew Miss Andrews, that was my principal. You ever see a principal call a mother into school to say, every pan knock your daughter wants to be in it? I was in everything. So when I was home pregnant, I couldn't keep still. I went out and was running taxi. I was baking cakes. I was running taxi until my belly was touching the steering wheel and I was to stop. Then I had my son, and when my son was 6 months, my mom saw this ad on the papers, and she's like, Chris, look, my mom is my biggest supporter. She have always supported me. My mom is my everything. She's like, Chris, look, TGI Fridays have an ad on the paper, and they're looking for bartenders, 6 O-levels to go out. So I went and I tried it out. I went to the interview, and I got through, and they was not only looking for the person with subjects, they was looking for the person with the bubbly personality, and whoa, my personality was, whew, yes, I am a people's person, service on point, and I went out to TGI Fridays, and I started off as a bar rover. How much time I have? Because I know I can remember.
This is a person who said, mind you, that they're not a talker, but we're here for it. We're here for it. Go ahead.
So I started off as a bar rover, which is the person who works on the outside of the bars, roving tables and serving tables. So they had a little high-end people who they hired, and they was working inside the bar, and they had the mixologists. But I was always keen on learning and everything. So they had a book. When they started off in TGI Fridays, you have to learn the 75 international cocktails. Yes, and you have to learn all the food specs and food SIs and the allergies and everything. Like, you have to be the chef as well as the bartenders. You have to know everything. So I started off as a bar rover, and the person who was a mixologist, one day that she wasn't there. And it was like, oh my God, we need somebody. So I was like, put up my hand. I was like, I can mix the drinks. And it was like, Diamond. Oh, my name was Diamond. Let me give it that little thing. My name was Diamond in TGI Fridays because there was another person named Crystal, and I had to choose another name. And my name Diamond because Umzad named me Diamond in the rough. Because I was, oh my gosh, I used to get real trouble when I was modeling, and I had more posture was bad, and he had to straighten me up and everything like that. So he called me Diamond in the rough. So I remember that name. I said, well, yeah, what? I will call myself Diamond. So they called me down. I said, I'll mix the drinks. They said, Diamond, you know, I said, I will mix the drinks. And they put me on service bar and I mash up the place. And I said, and I was like, I didn't even want to come up. Even though the girl came back from service bar, we said, like, take a break now. I'm just. So after they sent down the international team, and they had also do a test. If it's one thing, I was always book smart. So, because I had passed for junior sex school, and I cried because I couldn't understand how I had passed, but I never regretted going to junior sex school. That they had taken me out because of my high scores on my tests and stuff, and they put me in Destiny school. That is where I won the Queen show, Miss Destiny, and I also won Miss Point Fortin, which is long time ago. Anyways, I still won it. So, and they send the people down to international. We had to sit that test. It was 75 employees I tested, and I scored the highest in the test. But no favoritism. Every place has our favoritism. We had leads and coaches. I never got picked to be a lead or a coach, even though I scored high marks. And I'll always remember this lady named Estrella. Oh my gosh. She was real dread. They sent her to manage the thing, and Miss Estrella used to give me a hard time. I used to cry, and she used to be pong me, and I couldn't understand. And one day she called me into the office, and she pulled up my files, and she's like, Diamond, I'm making a coach. I was like, what? I said, Estrella, are you making me coach? I said, you serious? I said, Estrella, in due respect, you just give me a hard time, you just make me cry. Here she had Diamond, I wanted to push you to see how far I could have pushed you, and you have always been respectful. You have always done your job. Okay, so I've won in TGI Fridays employee. I won 3 consecutive years. I left on my 4th year. God had a mission for me. I came back into Point Fortin, and I went to work at Gita's Restaurant. I went to work there as a bartender. From there, I went off to work at another place called Rayties. I said, Crystal, you know what time for you to do your own thing? So I started mixing drinks. I educated myself. I went off to do extraordinary bartending school. And I started doing functions and things. And then I opened my first restaurant, which was called Cocktails Galore. That was my passion, Cocktails Galore. When I opened Cocktails Galore, I knew nothing about food. Nothing. Only seeing with the chefs and TJ and always macroing them and watching them. Coming to food, I am self-taught, but I have always done things to the perfectionist. I had a little OCD. I was always OCD. Even though I came from not having nothing, I would always have my room well organized, scraps of paint, make sure it was well organized and put together. So I took one of these girls I used to work with, and I trained her to do the mixology in front, and I opened my kitchen. Self-taught, Pinterest, Google, everything like that. I wrote my own recipe, my own sauces, everything like that, and I opened my kitchen, and I was running my kitchen. Business started doing well, so I started to extend the staff. Then, one day, this guy from Atlantic Energy, Stephen McShine, Stephen McShine, he knew me from when I was working my guitars, and he's like, Chris, your food has tastes so good. Why do I apply to Atlantic LNG? I was like, me? You mad or what? Me and my small fry self? My little ghetto self? I said, no. He came back again. He said, Chris, you need to apply to Atlantic LNG. I said, no. He was so persistent, he bring the form for me. I said, all right, I will try it out, and I ended up signing the form. Atlantic sent down the people, the health inspectors, the people, and they came and passed my kitchen, because one thing, when coming to cleanliness, I do not play. I'm on point with cleanliness. So they came and they passed and everything like that, and started catering for Atlantic. The little small fry, little Egypt girl. I was like, oh my God, even though I didn't want to go out there, because I was used to a little second doubt myself, because I know Atlantic LNG is a big place. So I started catering for Atlantic LNG, where I won the hearts of Atlantic LNG, where I started off with my chef, which is Trisha Nerega. Yes, and my chef Trisha Nerega, who that gave me my name. And we started off, and then we started to extend ourselves and started to get big. And God bless them. I've always put God first. I've never forget, no matter the trials and the tribulations. I have went through a lot. And after I came and opened Simply Bush, and what time is that? But I want to give all of the name Simply Bush, where Simply Bush come from. So I was always a simple person, meaning that even though that people just call themselves boss and everything like that, I've never considered myself as a boss. I've always said myself as a cook. I used to wear uniform. I will go to work with uniform. I will clean the toilets. I will wash the wares. I will clean the chicken, even though they had staff there. And I used to perform duties as every other worker. And then Trisha and I, we hit it off, and then we opened our next, Simply Bush. Sorry, I'm going back to Simply Bush. Yes. Simply Bush, myself was simple. I said, me and my other half sit down. I said, we will come up with our business name from Cocktails Galore. And I said, so you know what? I'm the simple person, you is the bougie person, because here are bougie. So that's where the name Simply Bush came up from. And then after I opened Simply Bush, and after I came and opened my next business, which is called Cocktails Galore. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful, because even though we're going through trials and tribulation, I keep on strong, and I asking God every day for grace and mercy.
Yes.
And I am thankful for everything. And I'm most of all thankful for my customers. Listen to me.
Yes,
My
yes.
customers give me so much love. Listen, it is over. It is thankful. So thank you for giving me the encouragement and making me the person I am today. Thank you. And I want to talk more, but she told me I told time to cut it. She told me time for me to hush.
I think we need a special feature.
Well, thanks very, very much. Oh, what am I doing? I want to be an evangelist. I'm in church and thing now, so probably I'll be on the next podium soon.
I could see that for you for sure.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
I want to thank you for sharing your story, because in the mix there, I'm sure there are so many people saw themselves in the different stages of your growth, of your journey that you would have presented. So thank you very much for sharing that, most definitely. And I would just like to get from each of you one word to inspire a young woman viewing this program, or any woman viewing this program. Just one word. Let's start with Michelle.
My own is 2 words.
Okay.
Self-worth.
Amen to that. Yes. Thank you very much, Michelle. Yolanda?
Mine's is 4.
Let's go.
So I'm stealing from her, which is self-worth, resilience, and inner strength.
Yes. Okay, very good. And Crystal?
Unstoppable.
Hey. Listen, this has been a very enjoyable, a very powerful discussion, ladies in beauty and business. And I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up this evening and giving of yourself. Even though people may say, yeah, they're just talking, but you are giving of who you are at your core and of your essence. And I want to thank each and every one of you for that.
Thank you for having
Can we give
us.
them a round of applause?